Well, I'll start off by talking about something most of us are familiar with, high school. You know, I've always seen high school as more of a pegboard. And we're the pegs, hoping to find a circle where we can fit in and be accepted. But me, well, I've always felt like more of a square peg. I never really fit anywhere. That is, until over the years, I found other square pegs. And together, we formed our own circle, albeit a bit awkward and misshapen. Each of us has something to bring to the table, whether it be fashion expertise, insight into the original 73 episodes of Star Trek, or tech support. Then always, there's me, your comedian, your jokester. Now, I like to have fun. I do. I like to make all sorts of jokes. But when a stranger can contain his curiosity no longer, well, then I become a representative. I become a representative of the blind community, eager to dispel any misconceptions one might have. It's like I tell my friends, I want you to ask questions, because how else will you know if you're wrong? A story I like to tell, one time a friend of mine caught me in the hallway during school, and after a conversation, he emphatically apologized for interrupting my count. Now, I explained to him that I don't, in fact, count my steps, and that if I did, I mean, let's be honest, I'd be forever lost. See, my friend's a really bright guy, one of the smartest people I know, actually. Even he needed a little correcting. See, sometimes asking a question isn't the end of the world. Sometimes asking that burning question might just clear the world up for you. Now, I don't remember exactly when my world dimmed, nor do I remember when it went dark altogether. My mother tells me I lost sight in one eye when I was a year old, and in the other 2 years after that. Congenital glaucoma, the doctors told her, which resulted in a tremendous pressure that built up and eventually rendered both my retinas useless. My mother tearfully recalls the first 3 years of my life where she practically lived in hospital waiting rooms, eagerly anticipating the news of my latest operation. It became a vicious circle. The doctors would perform a surgery, reducing the pressure, but it would be back, worse than before. It soon became clear to my mom and to the specialist that my blindness was a foregone conclusion. My mother recalls how hard it was for her to cope with, how often she would break down and cry when I wouldn't react to the more visual cues. For a long time, she didn't know how to deal with her baby boy's future. There was one thing she was certain about. She wasn't going to coddle me close like a lot of my family did. She was going to gently push me out into the real world and allow me to immerse myself in real world experiences and become a real person. And because of that, well, I found my true calling. See, ever since I can remember, I've had a strong affinity for the power of the written word. I became enamored with the way words, simple little combinations of letters, had so much power behind them. I mean, think about it. Words can, yes, hurt and destroy people, but more importantly, they give the power to tell stories, to express yourself, to convey ideas. And I decided long ago that writing is who I am, and it will be my future. See, I plan on entering the world of journalism, and through the uncanny power of the written word, provide people with that forum to express themselves, to tell their own stories, and to get across their revolutionary ideas. And for all the support my mother's given me over the years, I'm gonna double it. See, in 5 or 10 years, Mom, your baby boy will be on TV interviewing Hulk Hogan, brother. Your baby boy's name will be on that groundbreaking story that got the world talking again. But most importantly, and this one's really close to home, your baby boy will have made you proud. And that right there is my one and only aspiration. And you see, sometimes in between fantasies of being the next big media icon, I like to run through a favorite hypothetical of mine. Now, what if, just what if, tomorrow, The very doctor who 15 years ago told my mom that my blindness was a foregone conclusion were to call and offer to perform a miracle of modern science. Would I take it? See, every time I run through this scenario, it ends the exact same way. It ends with my polite refusal and a man of medicine's stunned silence. But do tell me, O modern miracle worker, why? Why would I want to give up my blindness? If not for my blindness, I wouldn't be standing here right now, speaking earnestly to a group of peers for whom I have the utmost respect. If not for my blindness, I wouldn't be here right now. So we've all had an obstacle course, but we're all here tonight at events like these to support one another, to show how much pride we have in what we do. I wouldn't give that up for the world. See, asking me if I want to give up my blindness, that's like asking me if I want to give up my friends. I want to give up my friends. I love my friends, my square pegs, every last one of them. And I wouldn't give them up for the world, no matter how picturesque it might be. Thank you.